Good morning, all.
Morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Fine, but it not seems to be very fine. Why so dull? Fine, huh? Good morning. No, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. So, can you just tell me what we have learned in the previous class? Yeah. Turn your page. Yes, we have gone through some of the problems, isn't it? Graph. Yes. Who knows?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So today we will be dealing with a small topic called line float. Do you know what is that? You know what is that? Line float. I think you have seen like this one, isn't it? This is what is line float. So we can also call it as line chart. So it is a type of float which displays the information as series of data points, which is known as markers. You used to mark, isn't it? After that, you used to draw, connect that markers using a straight line. So what is line float? Basically, what is a line float? It is a type of float which displays the information as a series of data points. Isn't it? When you draw a line float, you used to use a series of data points, which is known as markers, which has been connected through or connected by straight lines. So we are discussing about line float, or it can be also known as line chart. Okay. So generally line charts are, you know that it has been used to display the trends over time, the changes in the time, isn't it? If we are just, I just told you to draw a line chart regarding you're traveling, which means that at first 5 minutes you have covered this much distance. After that, after 5 minutes you have covered this much distance. So it shows the difference in the time, isn't it? After that, what we can say about line chart? Line chart or line graph can be created using which method? Plot. Okay, which is available in PyPlot library. So if you want to plot a line chart or line graph, you have to use which method? Plot. And this is available in which library? PyPlot. Okay. And after that, we can define our x-axis. What is it? We can label it, isn't it? We can scale them. We can give the title. We have gone through some of the examples in the previous class, right? So to make a line float with matplotlib, we use this function or this method. So this line float, it is a type of float which displays the information as a series of data points. And this point is known as markers. Now, if I say what is marker, if I say about marker, which means that it is meant for data point, which is used for plotting the data in a line float. Okay. So which has been, and this data points have been connected through a straight line because we are just talking about line float. And which method we are using for this? Plot. Okay, after plotting this, we can define our x-axis and y-axis scale, and we can label them, we can title, we can display options. And to make a line float with matplot, we use which function? plt.plot. So what is marker? Series of data points. Is that clear? And another important thing is that for plotting a line chart or line graph, we use which method? Plot. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall we move to the next slide? Yes? Okay. So the first argument, you know that when we plot, we use two arguments. The first argument is used for the data on the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line, isn't it? Which means that row. And second argument is used for vertical lines. This is the vertical line, which means that y-axis, isn't it? So there will be two arguments in this plot function when we want to plot a line chart. First argument is for horizontal axis, which means that x-axis. And the second argument will be for vertical line. Okay, the second argument is used for the data on the vertical line, which means that y-axis. And this plot generates your plot. It doesn't display, it will generate when you are using this plot method. If you want to show, if you want to display that chart, you have to use which method? Show. Show function to display, we will call plt.show method or show function. Okay. For plotting, we will use plot, and for displaying, we will use show. So there will be two arguments. First argument is for, what is the use of the first argument? What is the use of the first argument? It is used for showing, it is used for the data on the x or y axis. Which axis? Y axis, isn't it? Huh? X or Y? X. So there will be two arguments. First argument is for storing information, storing the data on the horizontal axis, and second is for data on the vertical axis, isn't it? This one is for Y and this one is for X, and plot generates it, but it doesn't display. For displaying, we have to use show method. Is that clear? Yes. So, what is marker? What is marker? The points, data points, isn't it? So, all the plots are made of points, isn't it? Which lies joining them. It is lines. Okay. So, points are the pairs. You know, all the points is having a particular point from x-axis and a particular point from y-axis. And we have to use plot method for plotting that points. So what are lines? Are the straight segments. You know that what is line? There are different types of lines. And a marker. What is marker? This is the important point regarding that marker. It is any symbol that represents a data value in a line chart or in a scatter plot. So what is a marker? It is any symbol that represents a data value in a line chart or a scatter plot. From your childhood, you are drawing this line chart, and also you are just familiar with X and Y. Then what is the concept behind that? What is marker? Which means that it is a symbol. It can be anything. Okay, it can be anything, any symbol you used to draw. So it is any symbol that represents a data value in a line chart or a scatter plot. So for plotting, don't forget that we will use which method? We will use plot method. Okay. So there will be 2 points, X and Y. X represents which line? Vertical or horizontal line? Which line? X represents which line? Can you just repeat?
Horizontal.
Horizontal line. So Meghna, is this a horizontal line? This one is a horizontal line?
No, vertical.
Yeah. So this is the horizontal line, and this one top to bottom, it is the vertical line. Is it clear? Any doubts? Any doubts? Lydia, any doubt?
No, no.
I think you are joining for the first time, is it right?
No, first class semester.
Okay. Is it over? Is it over?
Yes, sir.
So here you can see one example. By default, markers are single dot, isn't it? Wait. By default, markers are single dot. Here you can see single dots. So it can be any symbol, marker can be any symbol. Okay. So lines are straight thin segment. You can draw this one for your clarification. So by default, Matplotlib draws markers as single dot. Here you can see one example for that, for the line plot or line graph, and it has been connected through lines. And these points are been connected through lines. Okay. So far we have discussed about markers and line styles, isn't it? I hope it is clear. It is a simple topic, simple concept. Over?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what are the steps to draw line plot? Till now we have learned what do you mean by line plot, isn't it? Now we are going to learn what are the steps that we have to follow when we have to draw a line plot. First of all, we have to import pyplot module. From which library? Matplotlib. Please note down this. So if I told you to plot, if I told you to draw a particular line plot, then first you have to import pyplot. Okay, after that you have to call this function. This is the function to plot y versus x as lines. Okay, after that you have to label both axes. For x axis we will use x label, and for y axis we will be using y label. After that, this is the basic things that we have to do. First we have to import pyplot module from matplotlib library. First we have to import. After that we have to call the plot function. For plotting, first we have to plot that, isn't it? With the points of x and y axis. After that we have to label the x axis as well as y axis. In the previous session we have seen this. We have seen some of the examples related to this x label and y label. Yeah. So this is the basic steps that we have to follow to draw a line plot. First, we have to import pyplot module, which is an matplotlib library. After that, we have to plot. We have to call the plot method, and we have to then we have to call x label. We have to label the x axis as well as y axis. This is all about the definition, okay? So this is the basic steps. So these are the basic steps to draw line plot. Clear? As you know, for plotting, we want x and y axis, points on x and y axis. After that, we have to label, we have to mention what is this, what is the meaning of this x axis, what is the meaning of the data which has been represented in the x axis, and what is the meaning of the data which represents the points in the y axis, isn't it? That is why we have to label. Without labeling, if we draw some figure, we will not get any idea. So it is important that we have to label the x and y axis. Okay, clear? So now we will be going through some of the examples related to this. If it is over, let me know. First, we have to import pyplot module. Then we have to call plt.plot, plt.xlabel, then ylabel. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, fifth step, we have to give the title, and without calling this show function, we can't see that. Okay, for displaying that float, we have to call, at last we have to call show method or show function, okay, to display that particular image. We have to label x-axis, we have to label y-axis, we have to mention the title at last. It is important. After doing this, if you don't call this show function, you can't see any output on the screen. So this is important. After doing that, you have to display, isn't it? We are just creating floats for viewing that, isn't it? If we don't use this show method, we can't see that figure. So to display a figure, we have to use which method? Show. So we have to use this method. So these are the basic steps. So these are the basic steps to draw a line float. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope this basic concept is clear. Now, let's see a simple program to draw a line chart. Can you just give me the basic code? Now we have gone through some steps regarding this, isn't it? Can you just upload a simple program? Can you just write a simple program to draw a line, to draw a line float, to plot a line float? Any idea? First, we have to do something. We have told. What is the step? See, first we have to import, isn't it? What is PLT? As I told you, nickname, isn't it? Of pipe load. So with the help of this only, we will be calling different methods. So what is the meaning of this and this? Yeah, tell me. After seeing that float method, you will get an idea. What is the meaning of that? What is that? One, two, three. What is one, two, three? I have just simply written that, or is there any?
X-axis values.
So if we want to write a simple method, a simple program to draw a line chart, first we have to, what we have to do? First we have to import matplotlib, isn't it? Please do note down this. After that we are using PLT, isn't it? Then it is used, then it has been used for calling this float method. Which plots the graph between the given set of values. So this plot method, what is the use of this? It plots the graph. It plots the graph between the given set of values. So here the given set of, which are the set of values 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So this plot method helps to plot the graph between the given set of values. Everything is drawn in the background. Okay, everything is drawn in the background. If we want to display that, we have to use which method? Show. So this plt.show method is used to display your figure. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a simple program which is used for plotting the line float. Over. Yeah. So here you can see one example. So what were the points? One, tell me. How it will be plotted? First you tell me that. Yeah. 1 and 5, isn't it? Then 2 and 6, then 3 and 7, right? So now let's have a look. 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7. Look here. So this is one of the example of a graph. Now, in this window, you have look at the below. You have seen you can see some icons. What is that? You can see like this. What is that? Any idea? It is a toolbar. Okay, it is a toolbar. So when we are using PyPlot library, which means that matplotlib PyPlot, the toolbar is enabled by default for every figure. For every figure, you can see this. So it provides basic elaboration and manipulation function for interactive plotting. We will be learning each and every icon. We will be learning about this. So whenever we are using this matplotlib.pyplot, this we can see this toolbar. What is the use of this toolbar? It is used for elaborating and manipulating changes. To doing some changes in our plot, we are using this toolbar. Okay, and we can find this at the bottom of the window. We can find this navigation tool. This is the navigation tool, which is at the bottom of the window. Whenever you are plotting a particular graph, you can see this. So this is the toolbar, which is used for elaboration and manipulation. Okay, and which has been seen at the bottom, which we can see at the bottom of the window. Okay, so this is the toolbar. You can see at the bottom of the window. First one is, this is the first one. Reset original window. This is the first one. Reset original window.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
can
You
you show
want
the last slide?
slide, okay. If it is over, let me know, okay? Over?
Yes, ma'am.
No. So this is the first one. What is the name? Reset original window. So what is the use of this? We can resize our plot as per our requirement. Okay. So what is the use of this? We can resize. For resizing, we will use this option. So what is the name of this option? Reset original window. It can be reset to the original window size using this option. If we want to resize our window to its original size, we will be using this option, reset original window. So this icon stands for reset original window. It is used for resizing. Okay, if you want to resize our plot, if you want to resize the plot window as per our requirement, we can use this option. This is the first one. So what is the name? Reset original window. Okay. So we can reset our original window size using this option. So this is reset original window. Okay. Yeah. Is it over? Is it over? Yeah? No. Yes or no?
Yes. No.
Here you can see one example. So this is my original. First one is my original float. I have resized it. Okay. I have zoomed it. I have just changed that. And if I want to regain, if I want to go back to my original version, which option I will use? Which option I will use? This one, reset original view. If I click that, my original version will come. Is that clear? See? So what is the use of this? What is the use of this option? We can resize the float window, isn't it? First we can resize, after that we can reset. So what is the use of this? It is used for resetting our original window size. So first I have resized this. This is my original one. This is my original one. I have reset it. Means resize it. After that, if I want to reset that to my original version, I have to click, I have to press, or I have to select reset original view. If I want to reset my original view, I will use which option? Reset original view. Okay. Second one, back to previous view. What is that? From this word, you know, it will help us to, it takes us to the previous view from the current view. So what is the use of this? It takes us to the previous view from the current view. Whatever we have done before, it will take us to that previous view. Okay, so this icon stands for back to previous view. And what is the use of this? It takes us to the previous view from the current view. Okay, it takes us to the previous view from the current view. Let's have a look at the example. So here you can see this was my previous view, and if I press that, what is the change that occurred? Is that clear? If I want to move to the previous view, I have first resized it. If I want to go to the previous view, which means that original view, I will press which one? Back to previous view. Okay, first I have resized it. After that, I thought that I want to go back. Then I have to use which option? Back to previous view. Is that clear? On the right side, you can see the change after we are selecting this option. On the left side, it is my second view. And if I want to go back to my original, or I want to go back to my previous view, I will use which option? Back to previous view. Is that clear? Yes. Right side is our previous view and left side was our new view. This one is forward to next view. Note down the name, okay? Forward to next view. So what is the use of this? It takes us to the next view from the current view. Next. So it takes us to the next view from the current view. Previous view means, what is the difference between previous? It will take us to the previous view and it will take to the next view that we have done. Okay, so the name of this icon is forward to next view. It takes us to the next view from the current view. Okay. So here you can see the change. Because why so same result? Because I have done the same again. So after selecting this, it will take us to the next view. If we have done anything, if we have gone previous and if we want to go back to that view, then we will use forward to next view. The view that we have changed, that we have done. Okay. Have you ever heard about this undo and redo? In the word, same concept. Okay. This is what is about forward to next view. So after selecting that, it will take us to the next view, which means that the view that I have done before. After that, I have gone back. Then if I want to go to the same view again, I will use this forward to next view. And this is, next one is Pan axis with left mouse, zoom with right. This is the name of the second. Pan axis with left mouse, zoom with right. What is the meaning of this? For zooming purpose. If you want to zoom a particular section of that figure, we will use this option. If you want to zoom, we will use this option. So what is the use of this? It is used for zooming. If we want to zoom any particular part of that plotted figure, we will use this. Okay, we will use this. Can I move to the next slide? Yeah. Here you can see, this is my plotted figure. If I want to zoom a particular, yeah. If I want to zoom, I will use this one. Now zoom to rectangle. We can draw a rectangle on the figure and the view will be zoomed on that rectangle. So in this figure, there will be a rectangle. We will draw a rectangle and the portion which has been inside that rectangle will be zoomed. Okay, we can draw a rectangle on the figure and the view will be viewed on that rectangle and that view will be viewed on that rectangle. So this is zoom to rectangle. We can draw a rectangle on the figure and the view will be zoomed on that rectangle. First, I will show you the example. See, I have drawn a rectangle. So which part will be zoomed? The part which has been inside that rectangle. Is that clear? See, look at the point 5 till 5.5. So that part will be zoomed. Is that clear? Yes. So this is the definition of this. We can draw a rectangle on the figure and the view will be zoomed on that rectangle. The view will be zoomed on that rectangle. So here you can see one example. As I told you, I have drawn a rectangle. So the part which has been inside that rectangle will be zoomed like this. Next one. Configure subplots, which means that it will allow us to change the various spaces which has been surrounded by that figure. There are different options. So it will configure, which means that it will allow us to change the various spaces that has been surrounded in the figure. You can shrink that figure, you can extend, you can increase the space between that lines. You can decrease the space between that lines. There are many options. So if you want to configure, we will be using this one. So it allows us to configure the various spaces that surround the figure. So it will allow us to configure the various spaces that surround the figure. So first you just look at the example. Here, this is our graph. And here at the bottom, you can see that configure, that option. Then when I click that, on the right hand side, you can see different option. If I change any of this option, if I decrease that, there will be change. See what change? I have just decreased the space on the right. So you can see the changes. This is the original one. If I have changed the space, right? Look at the third option. You can see the change in the point. Okay, it has been reduced. So this is what is about configure subplots. Okay, if you want to reduce the change, if you want to do any changes in regard to the spaces which has been surrounded the figure or surrounded by the figure, you can use this option. Okay. Yeah. Last one. Save the figure. What is the use of this? After plotting, we have to save, isn't it? So for saving our particular plot, we will use this option. So this is the icon for that. So this option is used for saving the figure which has been drawn. It will be saved to the hard disk, and we can give the name that we want. The thing that we does for every files. So this option is used for saving our upload, where it will be stored in the hard disk. So we can give the name that we want, like this. If I press the save the figure icon, then you can select the location, then you can give the name. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. So that's all for today. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.